The best professional filmmaking phone. That is the claim with this one. 4K 120 FPS in 10-bit log with every single focal length, all the way from 14mm ultra wide to 400mm super telephoto. This is the Vivo X300 Ultra. I tested it like a filmmaking tool, not like a phone. And if they're right, this changes everything. Now I know what you're thinking. Umar, phones can't shoot cinema. And you're kind of right. Most phones will give you something like a movie mode or cinematic mode, slap on some fake bokeh and call it a day. But this one's different. Real ZEISS glass focal lengths, 4K at 120 frames per second in 10-bit log, and an all-new pro video mode that actually feels pro. Not to mention that massive focal range all the way up to 400mm. So I wanted to see if this can keep up with my filmmaking style. Not just for a phone, but actually as a camera. And honestly, the new Pro Video mode on this made me forget I was shooting on a phone. Okay, so ZEISS. Big name, fancy glass. Here's what usually happens. You'll get one really good camera sensor and lens, and the rest are just a bunch of compromises. You know what I mean? The ultra-wide either being too soft or too dark in low light, or when the telephoto is not actually zooming in, it's just a digital crop. But the Vivo X300 Ultra comes with the ZEISS Master Lenses collection. 14mm ultra-wide for scale and point of view, 35mm for that classic film documentary feel, 85mm for portraits and separation, and then there's the Flex. 400mm telephoto. Real optical reach, not just a party trick. And the reason this matters is not because I can go and brag about focal lengths at dinner parties. It's because you're actually shooting. You're not thinking about gear, lenses, and focal lengths. You're just thinking about the frame. And having the right lens and focal length at any given moment to capture my frame is what helps tell the story, rather than working around the camera's limitations. This is actually the first time that I feel like I'm not compromising at all when I'm shooting at different focal lengths. So when I push up the camera to start filming, the shot that I have in my mind is what I'm actually going to get without any compromise or loss of quality. So my ultra-wides are going to be super crisp and clean, and it's going to be consistent all the way across to my super telephoto at up to 400mm. Then of course, there's the elephant in the room, the massive 400mm lens. See how far the paddy fields stretch to the back, the buildings that are pretty much 4 to 5 kilometers away? It looks like it's right up next to my subject. That's because of the beautiful compression you get off of the 400mm lens. It really isolates your subject. This is impossible to achieve without this kind of focal length and magnification. This 400mm right here is a completely different visual language. It compresses spaces, stacks up layers together, and really isolates moments. This is the secret sauce to how you get those epic landscapes. Everything really nice and compressed together. Quite literally looks like a painting. And the fact that I'm doing this in 4K 10-bit, 120 FPS, handheld, on a phone, is just not normal. And because it's actual optical telephoto, not digital zoom, the image is sharp. Since you're shooting at such high frame rates, slowing down your footage gives you that slow motion drama. It just looks cinematic. Not phony, cinematic. Okay, most flagship phones now can shoot pretty videos. Great. But can it shoot videos professionally? Because there's a difference. A simple pretty video is easy. A gradable film-like video, on the other hand, one that holds up when you start pushing it in post, that is harder. The Vivo X300 Ultra shoots in something called APV-422 10-bit log, which is a fancy way of saying it captures a lot more details for dynamic range, colors, depth, in a more neutral tone, which allows you as the editor to really tweak it and color grade it like a cinema camera. And the gamble is, it looks terrible out of camera. If you don't know how to work with log footage, none of this would make sense to you. But that's the point. You're trading that instant Instagram-ready look for control. You're betting that when you get this into the color grading software, you'll have the latitude to actually shape the image in whatever way you want. The question is, will I be able to push the limits of this log footage the same way I would my cinema camera footage? Now let's see if that gamble actually pays off. I'm here in DaVinci Resolve, and this is the clip that I'm going to be working with. Just a simple reveal shot. quick speed ramp up into the motion here. Of course, this was recorded at 120 FPS, which is why the slow-mo is so beautiful. Here, I'm just going through what I would traditionally go through with any of my cinema camera footage. I'm treating the image as I would if it came out of a $5,000 camera. Lifting shadows, pushing contrast, playing with the exposure, adding film curves, adding grain, halation and bloom, warming the highlights, cooling the shadows, and yeah, the image is holding together. No banding, clean grading. The 10-bit color is really doing its job. The footage grades like a proper camera, not like a phone pretending to be one. Alright, let's talk about the thing that everyone's wondering. How does it actually compare to a cinema camera? Because I brought mine and I shot some scenes in the same exact settings, same lighting, just to test how close this can actually get to a cinema camera. Now look, when it comes to these wider shots, more landscape, it's a lot harder to tell the difference between the two. You can grade them exactly the same way and get almost exactly the same results. Where you start seeing a difference is when you introduce depth. Exactly in shots like this, the bigger sensor size on a cinema camera obviously contributes to a more strong background blur. But if we're talking strictly on cinema look and colors, especially with the focal lengths, I think the Vivo X300 Ultra absolutely nails it. So is this better than a cinema camera? Or is the cinema camera better than this? Objectively, yes, a cinema camera should be better. Better dynamic range, better subject isolation and background blur and bokeh thanks to the lenses, better glass, bigger sensor. But the question really becomes, can you as the viewer really tell a difference? Can the clients I make videos for know when I switch between my camera and my phone? That is where the real question comes in, because that gap has become really, really small. Truly, in this video, there's some clips that I shot using this phone that you as the viewer wouldn't even know it was shot on the phone if I hadn't put the text there. The cinema camera is what I use for client work, for commercial projects, for stuff that needs to be pixel perfect. But for content creation, for travel, for documentary style shooting, where speed and versatility matters more than absolute technical perfection, this phone keeps up. And that is the whole point. So close that if I leave my camera at home, I don't stress out anymore. Like, I know I'll be able to survive using just this. Okay, so here's the final test. I'm gonna show you the entire sequence, footage shot on the phone as well as on the camera. Cut them all together and you guys tell me if you can actually tell the difference between the two. Actually, no, I'm not gonna play this game. I'm just gonna tell you. That was all the phone. Every single frame was shot on the Vivo X300 Ultra. So, can a phone shoot cinema? I think the better question is, does it matter? Because at the end of the day, filmmaking and cinema is about telling a story. It's not about 4K, it's not about 120 FPS, it's not about the bitrate and color, it's about telling the right story. And if we're answering the real question of can I use this as a filmmaker to tell a story, you absolutely can. The ZEISS lenses gave me all the focal range I needed. The 400mm telephoto unlocked shots that are otherwise impossible on a phone. 4K 10-bit gave me color grading flexibility, which I dream of with any camera. 120 FPS across all the lenses gave me that buttery, smooth slow motion to really sell the idea that this was shot on a cinema camera. The camera never really got in the way, and for it being a phone, that is truly remarkable. I might actually leave my cinema camera at home most times now.